Hello everyone, my name is Dimitri Anderson. I've spent the last 3 years working as a zookeeper, behaviorist, and wildlife educator. I use my experience in animal education and care to help promote animal welfare and conservation by connecting animals and people through public engagement. While in the exotic animal training and management program at America's Teaching Zoo in Moorpark, California, I taught a cuddly donkey named James to play wind chimes with me playing ukulele on stage for a live audience. It was fun and exciting for both of us. I was most recently a wildlife biologist for the Wildlife Learning Center in Silmar, California, where I traveled and gave live animal science presentations to audiences of all ages, mostly at daycares and K through 12 schools. But now I enjoy working as a substitute teacher for the Fontana Unified School District. So, why did I want to investigate virtual field trips? There are a lot of challenges planning and leading conventional field trips in a low socioeconomic school, which include identifying times within their workday to contact field trip venues for scheduling purposes, completing district and transportation documents, written communication to parents to obtain signed permission, soliciting parents as effective chaperones, fundraising, and transportation. It is in these challenges that we begin to see the creation of opportunity gaps among populations of English language students who are most often in low socioeconomic schools. What about virtual field trips for EOs? Well, with virtual field trips, we get some great solutions to a lot of the problems that we get with conventional field trips, including increased learner centeredness. This means that the student can control the pace of the presentation and complete it at a time which is convenient for him or her. Appropriate scheduling. The computer assignment can be made at an appropriate time after the prerequisite material has been studied. Use of multiple modes of learning. Virtual field trips can be designed so that a variety of stimuli, audio, video, text, can appeal to different learning modes. Teaching flexibility and efficiency. Teachers can spend more class time covering concepts while students access the virtual field trip on their own time. Geographic independence. Students can visit sites anywhere in the state or globe without leaving home. This can help to overcome problems of rural isolation. Temporal independence. Students can access a virtual tour anytime they feel it is convenient and spend as much or as little time as they want there. Ease of use. Web browsing is very familiar to most people today, and it is likely that little training will be necessary for students to use this technology. Safety and practicality. Actual field trip sites may be unsafe, require great physical exertion, and be inaccessible due to bad weather. Control of content, language, and features. Teacher-created virtual field trips have the advantage of containing customized lessons designed to closely fit the curriculum, match the reading level of the students, and focus on local sites which help learners better identify and relate to concepts. Additional information. If the virtual field trip is on the World Wide Web or is made with an application that allows webbing, additional information can easily be included via hyperlink. This avoids cluttering the screen with non-essential material. Improvements and alterations are easy. If there are revisions or updating changes to be made, the instructor can easily make these changes immediately to the presentation. Reusability. Once a virtual field trip is made, it can be upgraded and improved and reused from year to year. So, particular research questions for my master's thesis. Is there a significant difference in the mean scores of overall achievement of students taught using a virtual field trip in their native language when compared to students taught using virtual field trips in English? Is there a significant difference in the mean scores of overall achievement of students taught using a conventional field trip in their native language when compared with students taught using conventional field trips in English? So, in order to find answers to these particular research questions, I designed my particular study in which custom field trip experiences and formative assessments will be created as controls for learning opportunity and test performance. A two-way ANOVA analysis would be carried out to identify differences in mean scores of achievement for students who were taught using the virtual or conventional field trip in English versus students taught using the virtual or conventional field trip in their native language. Evidence of no significant difference in mean scores of achievement between virtual field trips and conventional field trips will support the use of virtual field trips in a particular language. Evidence of a significant difference in mean scores of achievement between virtual field trips and conventional field trips may or may not support the use of virtual field trips in a particular language. Lower mean scores of achievement for virtual field trips will not support their use with English language learners. Higher mean scores of achievement for virtual field trips will support their use with English language learners. Resources that I used for this particular master's thesis process. National University Library Access allowed me to research articles on ProQuest and EBSCOhost, where I found some peer-reviewed journals that were really easy to download and work with, because it's really convenient to not only be able to access the material that will back up your research thesis, but also that it's easy to work with that in a way that you can kind of manipulate text, make some quotations if you need to, anything like that. And during this process, it was also really important to have a critical friend. So my critical friend was someone to reference ideas with and seek criticism in a pretty timely manner. So they were able to help provide a lot of support. And really is about exchanging ideas between someone else who's interested in pursuing the same kind of master's study. But more importantly, they're also kind of a conscience on your shoulder. So it's really great to have a research colleague, because then they're trying to help promote the right decisions on your part, and you can do the same for them. Methodology. So this is overall planned as a 7-day process for our particular research group. They would be participating in the study for just a week. Students on day one will be placed into their groups and briefed on the protocols and procedures of the 2 field trips, but are not informed of the content or location. Second day, a pre-assessment of virtual field trip content knowledge is conducted. On day 3, that's when we will conduct the virtual field trips. On day 4, a post-assessment of the virtual field trip content knowledge will be conducted. On day 5, a pre-assessment of the conventional field trip content knowledge will be conducted. Day 6, the conventional field trip will be conducted. Day 7, a post-assessment of the conventional field trip will be made to assess content knowledge. So research strategies for curating, time management, and organization. Overall, it's really important to find the right keywords. It is easy to get frustrated if you're trying to search for research materials to back up your thesis and you're not using the right keywords. So really focus on that so that you can find the information you need. Also, dedicate more time than you think you'll actually need to do your research, because at some point you may just have to start over with a lot of different ideology that you think you would find support for, and maybe you end up going on a slightly different path based on the research and science that's been done before you. Because ultimately you're trying to support your own thesis with the work of others, the research they've done, so that you're coming from a factual basis, or maybe even see if something's already been done, what is it that you need to do differently. Download and save journal articles and their links when you're working with those virtual online peer-reviewed journal source sort of platforms like EBSCOhost. You want to make sure that you don't lose your actual references as you're working through them. Because if you lose the link to that article, or you forgot to download it, and yet you provided some sort of factual basis in your paper from the content of their paper, it's going to be really hard to track that back down if you didn't copy down the link or even download the article itself. So plans for my future after I complete my master's degree. I plan to promote the use of virtual field trips based on their efficacy in meeting the challenges that conventional field trips often can't meet while working as a high school biology teacher. So thank you for your time, everyone.